Hello everyone and welcome back. Let's be honest, when it gets cold in the RV, we have all done some creative things to stay warm. Some of them brilliant and creative, others, let's just say we've learned the hard way. So let's talk about what not to do when heating your RV this winter. Today, I'm going to save you some trouble with a list of what not to do when heating your RV. Things that you might need to know to stay safe. Because if you've ever melted your extension cord or woken up to foggy windows that look like a rainforest, this one is for you. Number 1, don't block your vents or the furnace intake. Look, I get it. Space is tight, but shoving a pillow, a box, or the dog bed in front of your heat vent, not the right move. You'll end up roasting your floor and freezing everywhere else, and potentially creating a bad situation. Let your vents breathe. Trust me, they are doing the heavy lifting that they need to be doing. Number 2, don't rely on just one heat source. You might think that one tiny space heater can heat your 32-foot rig, but spoiler alert, it won't. Always have a backup. Your furnace, your electric heater, even a heated blanket or a mattress pad, because when one fails at 2 a.m. in January, you'll be grateful you did. We have ran out of propane a couple of times in the middle of the night, in the middle of winter, and it is no fun. So make sure you have a backup. Number 3, don't forget to crack a window or a vent. I know, it sounds crazy when you are trying to keep warm, but sealing your RV up tight just turns it into a condensation factory. You will wake up to wall sweating like a sauna, your window sweating. Crack a window or a vent, let the moisture out, and your morning will feel a lot less swampy. Number 4, don't use candles or open flames as heaters. Seriously, don't. Candles, even your propane stoves or those cute little tea light setups, they are not meant for heating. The only thing that is going to get heated and warmed up in those situations is probably your insurance provider. Stick with heaters that are made for the job. In fact, I don't recommend using any kind of open flames in your rig at all, unless they're coming from your stove. I use a coffee warmer. They do make candle warmers, but I specifically use a coffee warmer because mine has a temperature setting, which I really enjoy, as well as a timer. That way I don't forget when I, have my candle warming up. But if you have pets, please make sure that you are using scents for your candles that are safe around your furry friends. Not all are pets safe. In fact, there are some scents, because candles are made from oils, they are very bad for your pets to ingest. And dogs and cats are different on what they can ingest. So even if they're not, combusting in the air with a lit flame, they can still be harmful to your pet. So do check on that. Don't number 5, do not overload your outlets. If your RV breaker trips every time you turn on your heater and your coffee pot at the same time, this is not a challenge to see which one wins. That is your cue to spread out your power use or run a heavy duty extension cord safely. Melted cords equal a bad time. I have seen some wild setups where people are putting 2 and 3 outlet extenders and extension cords in a singular outlet, especially in the bathrooms. Don't do this. It is a very fast way to melt down the outlet and melt down your RV. So if you find your breaker tripping frequently, you either need to move something to a different outlet that's not on the same breaker, or run a very specialized heavy duty, not a cheap dollar store version, a heavy duty extension cord to another breaker outlet so that you're not tripping the same one. Don't number 6. Do not ignore your propane levels. I know we have run out of propane a couple of times in the middle of the night, and it is absolutely no fun to wake up at 3 a.m. freezing because your propane has ran dry. Keep a spare or use a gauge. There are several types of them. They're pretty easy to use. We typically just kind of err on the side of caution, and we have 2 propane tanks that are 30 pounds, and when one runs out, we just simply switch it over to the other one and take that one in and immediately get it filled. So that's a rule of thumb that we tend to follow now that we have ran out of propane a couple of times in the middle of the night or the middle of a shower. Don't number 7. Don't forget your safety gear. Last but not least, don't skip what seems to just be the boring stuff. Your carbon monoxide detector, a smoke detector, check the batteries and check them often. Get a couple of fire extinguishers, good sized ones, not the mini ones, and a little bit of common sense. If something smells weird or sounds like it's hissing, it is not a Christmas miracle. Do not ignore it. Get up and check it out. There is nothing that replaces common sense and safety during winter. Make sure that you have a plan in case something happens to your RV, and make sure that you know how to safely get out of your RV. Make sure that you never ever block any of your egresses, whether it be your emergency window or your doors. And as a bonus tip, when you do your inspections to get ready for the winter, even in the summertime, but especially in the winter, make sure that you have checked and opened your egress windows at least a couple of times a year. They frequently will get stuck shut, especially through the summertime when the seals get warm. They can get stuck, making getting out in an emergency very difficult. Make sure that you and your children know how to remove the screens quickly and efficiently, and that those windows have been opened recently so that they are quickly, easily openable when you have an emergency. So, there you go. My list of a few things on what not to do when heating your RV this winter. If you've done any of these, don't worry. We've all done at least 1 or 2 of them. That's just RV life. Hit the like and subscribe, and drop your own learn the hard way story in the comments for others to read about. Let's all learn to do better together.